Well, hello again to all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching Georgia Beer Reviews, back at you today with another one. And I am looking at Lagunitas Hop Stoopid. This is an 8% alcohol by volume beer, 102 IBUs for you. This is Lagunitas is a brewery out of Petaluma, California, and now in Chicago. It's actually a Heineken International brand. I have had this beer before, although it's been a long time since I've had it. Um, I'm not a huge IPA guy. I mean, I do enjoy IPAs occasionally, but it's not my go-to style. When you get up to close to 100 IBUs, usually that's pretty strong and a little too much for me. But I must admit, the exception usually is Lagunitas. They just make such wonderful beers. So, gave it a pour. Very nice IPA appearance, kind of a light orange, relatively clear, although I do see some very tiny suspended particulate matter in here. There's some nice streaming bubbles going up the glass, which I don't think you can see uh, on this camera, but there are some nice bubbles going up the glass. Got about a finger and a half of a creamy, slightly off-white head. The aroma, hops, definitely hops. You're picking up on grapefruit. That's the first thing that I'm getting is grapefruit. A little dankness with this one. Some piney hops in there as well. It smells super fresh though. Like always, every Lagunitas beer I've had always just smells really, really fresh. The hops that they use are of the highest quality in my opinion. They say the palate can only detect up to 100 IBUs, so this is over the detectable limit, supposedly. I gotta say, it smells really, really good. There's a little breadiness on the nose as well, but primarily you're getting those grapefruit hops, a little dankness, a little piney, like resinous type thing going on, and that little bit of breadiness. It smells really good. So cheers. You're definitely getting the hops. Grapefruit, a nice like piney note in there that's not overly done. Um, a little bit of the dankness. Maybe like a little garlicky note, I'm not sure what hop varieties impart that garlicky type note, but there's a little bit of that in there. There is a nice malt backbone, a nice breadiness in the middle of the sip, which is really enjoyable, complements the hops very well, balances it out a little bit because 102 IBUs is no joke. If you didn't have a good malt backbone with this beer, it would just be a palate wrecker and be absolutely borderline undrinkable for me. But this one is balanced very nicely. The 8% alcohol is masked very well. I'm not picking up on any boozy qualities with this one. The body is medium with this one. I wouldn't say it's light, but if you're a big IPA drinker and you like these super hoppy beers, you might think that it's more on the light side. But for me, it's more of a medium body. The carbonation is light to medium. Yeah, it's got a nice malty sweetness in the middle, nice bready note, like a white bread crust note. And the finish is super crisp and refreshing. Um, kind of in between dry and wet. It's not really dry, but it's not like a super wet finish either. It's kind of in between. The bitterness from the hops kind of helps it drop off a little bit as far as not being too wet of a finish. But it also makes it not too dry either. So with super hoppy beers like this, the finish is kind of in the middle. Um, it's very, very enjoyable. I do not like too many beers like this with this much hop bitterness in them. But Lagunitas, like I said, is really the only exception when they get the IBUs up, to 80 and above. This one is just a winner. I think it's a solid A. I'm going 95 out of 100, guys. I highly recommend the Lagunitas Hop Stupid. Even if you're not a huge IPA fan, you might like this beer. And don't be turned away from the 102 IBUs. It does have a nice malt backbone in the middle, a nice bready note, and a nice malty sweetness to balance out that hop bitterness. And the hop varieties that they're using create a nice depth of flavor. You're getting the fruity citrus notes. You're getting the piney notes. You're getting a little dankness. You're getting a like herbal thing or like a garlicky note in there, which is quite enjoyable. It might not sound enjoyable, but trust me, it is enjoyable with this beer. So a nice range of flavors. The beer is perfectly balanced. It's not overly hoppy as one might expect with that 102 IBU. So 95 out of 100 for the Lagunitas Hop Stupid Ale. Go check it out. You should be able to find it in most areas. Lagunitas is pretty much coast to coast at this point. I can get it here in Georgia. I've always been able to get it, and they're originally out of California, so their distribution is pretty much across the country. So check them out and let me know what you guys think of the Lagunitas Hop Stupid and just Lagunitas in general as a company. They make great, great products. I haven't had a Lagunitas beer that I haven't really enjoyed. So that'll do it for this beer review, guys. I hope you're all having a great day. And until next time, everybody, cheers.